Hi, I'm Jaden Collins. I'm going to be here interviewing Lela McCarroll, and she's going to talk about her experiences here with ROTC programs. Hi, Lela. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, first question: what motivated you to join ROTC?
What motivated me to join ROTC was that I come from a military family. My older brother attended the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. He just graduated last year from the academy, and he's now a second lieutenant officer. And when he graduated from the academy, it made me also want to think about what I want to do with my future and what I was going to do with criminal justice. And it got me thinking more and more. And even before that, like in high school, I was thinking about looking at military schools along with schools to be committed through water polo as well. And then when the time came, I did end up choosing water polo. But once I found out that Marist College had an ROTC program, I quickly did a lot of research about it. And then it got me thinking more about what if I did it, what if I don't. And at the end of the day, I decided to go for it because if I never did it, I always would have wondered what would have happened if I did do it. And now that I'm actually in the program, I am very happy with it. And I'm very, again, happy with my decision of joining ROTC.
So, Lela, what are the values that you think are the most important in the ROTC program?
I personally think that one of the most important values that a cadet should have in the ROTC program is commitment, because if you're not committed to serving the country, if you're not committed to wanting to wake up early or doing everything that you need to do for ROTC, then there's no point of you doing it. We have a few cadets right now, not to name names, but that don't seem like they're really 100% committed to this. And I've had personal talks with them about, if this isn't for you, if you're having, even like some slight doubt, like you have to be 100% locked in to ROTC. And the dedication value in ROTC is very important because, like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of early wake up calls, first formation, sometimes at 5:45 or even earlier than that. When we do rucks in the morning, first formations literally at 5 a.m. You got to be up by like 4:30. So discipline is very, very important when it comes to the military in general. You need to have the right uniform. You need to have the right military bearing. That is basically like your overall attitude. It needs to be up to par. And cadre, along with the higher chain of command, they see everything that you do. They value all those important things, all those aspects. So you need to be, like I said, 100% locked in.
Can you tell us about an ROTC experience you've had that left a lasting impression?
I would say that recently, like a few weeks ago, I was just at Fort Dix Army Base in New Jersey, and I was with the Ranger team there for 3 days, and we did a 6 mile ruck. I kind of messed up on the weight limit of the ruck. So while everyone else had 35 pounds, I had roughly a little over 50 pounds in my rucksack. And that really was a big mistake on my end, but it had to do with timing. So I had a 50-pound ruck while the other cadets in my squadron had 35 pounds. And again, like I said, it had to do with timing that I was stuck with the 50 pounds. Anyways, so I already was off to a pretty bad start in the ruck. I was in the front. Normally, you keep your pacers in the back, they keep the time to make sure we're ahead of our rucking time. And then the ones in the front are the ones that I guess you can say would fall out, but not necessarily. So I was up there because I told everyone that I had like over 50 pounds in my rucksack. And they were like, yeah, you need to go in the front just so we can make sure that you don't fall out. So again, fall out military term means you need to slow down. Like if you slow down, if one person slows down, it slows down everyone. So that's why we keep the fallouts in the front. So anyways, while I was in the ruck, it really tested me mentally because I it got to a point where I was doubting myself, and by the third mile, I was on the verge of almost, I wouldn't say tears, but my eyes were literally watering because it was so mentally tough and I felt like giving up at one point. But my fellow cadets and the leadership of one of the colonels kept pushing me, and it really tested me mentally, like I said. Yes, I would say that I did surprise myself. I ended up finishing the ruck, obviously, which is great. And there were a lot of other girls in the other squadron for the rucks that actually a few of them passed out by the finish line. So, and I was one of the only girls in on the ranger team during that ruck. So again, I'm with like a bunch of even prior enlisted soldiers who have been in like Afghanistan, and they're all like pushing me, keeping me going. So again, I think I learned that I can do a lot more than I'm capable of. And again, I will say a valuable lesson. I need to make sure that I know how much weight is in my ruck next time.
How does being in ROTC set up your future planning and goals?
Right now, I am a criminal justice major, and since I'm also doing ROTC, I have the option to go reserve, or I can do active duty, or I can do National Guard. I have a 3-year line scholarship with the ROTC program, so I get to choose how I want to serve my years when I get out of college. So if I were to do reserve, I could have a civilian job with my criminal justice major, and I could still be serving in the military at the same time. However, I've thought a lot about it, and I personally would like to go active duty. So what that means is I'm going to have to serve a total of 4 years active, 4 years reserve, based off of the scholarship that I have right now with ROTC. So my personal goals is that I want my MOS to be in Army aviation. That's basically my ultimate goal. I'm already, practicing for the SIF test that I will eventually have to take at West Point. And if I pass that, I will be able to move on to the next parts of becoming an aviator. However, if you fail it after your second time, it's over. So it's pretty important to me that I pass that. If I do not pass that, there's obviously other MOSs that I could go in. MOS is your Army job that you will get, military job after college. But my rank when I come out of ROTC will be a second lieutenant officer. So that is it's a pretty high rank in the military. So you're basically in charge of enlisted soldiers. So anyone who is enlisted with the Army, you're in charge of the platoon. Basically, a platoon consists of about, honestly, 50 to 60 men or women, and your job is to look over them. Like, you're their commander, you're the leader. So ROTC, it trains you to do that. It trains you to be it. The whole point of it is like you will eventually become a platoon leader out of it, and whatever job you have, you will have to train for that, and then you also lead the soldiers that are also going to be in that same department as well.
So, Lela, last question. Do you have any advice specifically for women that want to join the ROTC program?
Yes. So I would have wished that someone, when I was joining the ROTC program, would have said, just go for it. Because if I would have never done ROTC, I would have always regretted it and wondered what would have happened. We all want the same goals, we all want the same outcomes, and at the end of the day, we all want the best for each other in the program. So my advice to girls who want to join the program would be, don't be afraid to join, because like I said, there really is no judgment in this type of space. Everyone, like I said, we're all there for the same reason. So again, don't be afraid to join if that's what you want to do.